Hi, this is Vicky from Grandma B's Junk Journal. Thanks for stopping by my channel. Today I'm sharing a custom created big golden book junk journal for a returning customer. I believe she wanted this made for her grandmother. When she was a child, she spent lots of time with her grandmother. Snow White was one of their favorite storybooks, and another theme along with Snow White is cooking, baking specifically. She used to bake a lot when she was a child, and she would stay with her grandmother. And now when she grew up, she actually became a chef. I believe she's a chef. So anyways, she wanted me to put that in the theme of the book. So I did. This junk journal is 11 inches by 8 inches. It has approximately 152 pages front and back. It's a 2-inch spine that is covered with this vintage feel fabric. I've sewn in 3 signatures and covered the holes with buttons. It has a removable tassel with some lace, and there's a little charm. It's some kind of a little Danish charm, and the colors went with the book good. Let's see. Her grandmother likes lace, so she said put lots of lace in it. So I tied it with this big piece of yellow lace. Now, she could use it to close this junk journal. She doesn't really need to. It is so large that it just kind of closes nicely on its own. But she loves lace, and I had this big piece of yellow, so she could use this to close it or just put it in her stash to use in other projects. It has a lot of lace in it. It is trimmed with, it's all vintage lace. I believe it's all vintage lace. And it's trimmed with, it's kind of a yellow tinted lace, yellow and cream. All of the original pages from the storybook are in the journal. They are in the middle signature because I needed to keep them all together in order to keep the story in the right order. So the front and back inside cover, it looked great. This is a 1984 book, which was, I got it at an antique mall in Ohio. And I've added some scrapbook paper. This is a piece of vintage wrapping paper, Snow White, so I use that as one of the signature covers. I did back it on a folder, a pocket folder, just to give it some stability. And in the pockets throughout the book, I have added extra scrapbook paper and extra papers and different things that she can use in creating in her junk journal. Some of the things that you might have seen in some of my other journal videos or ephemera making videos, those projects are also in here. So like this is a little file folder. It is removable, and there is some little tags that are baking related tags in here. You can move this. I just clipped it to this pocket here. Again, there's lots of trim, writing paper, scrapbook paper, homemade clips, lots of different tags, some pockets. This is a waterfall. So there's 5 different waterfall pages. I have just in its, let's see, I have glued it onto, this is a children's story page, and I have glued the backing onto this page. It's pretty sturdy, and this is the waterfall, so you could put lots of photos, you could journal, but the paper is like baking themed. And then I've just used this big clip to kind of keep it closed. Not that you would have to. I just added it, so you could definitely remove that. And then here's a little girl baking. And that's Eloise Wilkin illustration here. And this is a 1945, I think, page from just a vintage catalog that I found with some aprons. And there are several recipe cards throughout the journal, front and back, because she said she wanted to add some of her favorite recipes that they created. And so here's a little booklet insert for making Christmas cookies. I have put some fabric tabs. Try to get this up just a little bit so you can see this book is very large here. Okay, so here's a napkin. Here's my fabric cluster I put here just as a decoration for the page. And this is a bridge, a vintage bridge tally game, the card bridge tally record sheet and notebook. That was from an antique auction. And here's some more papers, just a bundle of different papers to use, and a butterfly, and a butterfly clipped there. This is a thrifted birthday card that I've just clipped in there in case she wanted to use that when she gifts it. Otherwise, she could use it in her journaling for sure. Here is the other side of that cookie insert, and some cookie recipes and recipe card. Here's the other side of that vintage magazine. And this was the other half of the page, the Eloise Wilkins storybook page. Here is the other pocket, another clip here. This is a little envelope that I have clipped. Inside it, I've wrapped it with some twine, and it says homemade with love, and I've put a couple little cards in there. I've just clipped it here because you can move it around. Some scrapbook paper in there that you can make tabs or tags, whatever you would like. This is an image from Snow White from a different book. And then this is the middle signature. So all of the storybook pages are in this signature. And here is one of my tea tags. It's a little folio that flips out. And so it's great for photos and journaling. There's a tea bag and a honey stick and a journaling card. And here is another clip. And these are found on my website, grandbabyshop.com. They make great little additions to junk journals. I've just put a little fabric flip here. This is a vintage 1947 page from a doily craft book showing you how to crochet, I guess, the doilies. And a recipe card that I've sewn around, a little Snow White card that I made into a pocket, and I've clipped some more scrapbook paper and journaling card. Here's a pocket here, and the cute little cake scrapbook paper. I've put some rickrack, and I made a tag from this is sugar cookie recipe, and a picture from a Christmas cookie recipe book. And here's another recipe card and another fabric tab up top. Here is one of my card clusters that I make. They are also on my website, and you can journal on the back or add a photo. Here are some cards that journaling cards that I've clipped in. A vintage page from that crochet, 1947, that crochet book. And here is a fabric flip, but I used the vintage lace, and also put a little flip on the back. So you could, add your journaling or add photos underneath that. Here is a little card that I made into a pocket. These are found on my website as well. This is a little vintage tag that I created. Journaling or photos could be put on the back. I made a pocket here. And here is one of my little clusters that I just embellished the front of this flip out. You could put photos or journaling here. Lots of room for writing, lots of room for photos. This is another image from a second Snow White book, homemade clip up here. And here is Mama or maybe Grandma baking. This is illustrations again are from Eloise Wilkins. And I covered this. There's a tag for writing. This is a little flip out tag. And then on the back, there is a bundle of scrapbook paper. I'll just flip this out real quick, but it's 4 pockets, and I put little cards in there, and that can be moved around. You could add photos or writing. This is a little bakery songs, Waltz of the Sugar Cookie song sheet. Another recipe page. Another recipe page here and here. Some more bakery recipes. Nut cookie music sheet. This is a flip out. Here's a pocket here with the Snow White card, a flip out with the card here. So you could journal, you could put photos, you could put things inside there. And then lots of room here for journaling as well. On the back side is a little pocket. I've taken a page from another Snow White book. Open it up, and there's a little pocket here. And then this I've made into a pocket. It is a tag, and it has 4 little pockets on the front. Those were made from die cuts. Here is a little bundle of scrapbook paper. In that pocket, another recipe card, front and back. Lots more lace. Here's the back inside cover. I have clipped a little friendship pin here. These are little like danishes or pastries, I guess, and you can take that out, move it around. You could wear it on your shirt if you wanted to. And then that's the back. So I thank you very much for staying along with this flip through. This is going to be put on my website. And the person that ordered this book, if for some reason she does not want it, it will be on my website. That is grammybshop.com. And you can find lots of journals, junk journals, lots of supplies, and vintage items from antique auctions and antique malls that you could use in your journaling. So thank you. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.